Alright, so I have all my flowers that I wanted to put down, and then I added my last little butterfly. It's the same flowers that I've been using throughout, except for just yesterday I picked up these little purple roses from Michael's. So now we are going to start on our last page. So I have, this is going to be my background, and then we're going to have a flap that I'm going to use the yellow one. So we're going to start with the background. And what we need to do is measure your back page, and we want to cover up that stitching. So I want you to go ahead and measure yours, because yours might be different than mine, depending on how close your stitch gets to the edge. So we do want to cover all of that up. And it looks like mine is going to be about 9.5, I'm sorry, 10. About 10.5 by 10.5. That may be a little bit too big, but I'm going to cut it down and see how it goes. Actually, I'm going to go to 10.5 and go minus 1/16. We'll see how that fits. No, I'm going to start at 10.5. Sorry. I'm pretty positive it's going to be too big, but I'd rather be able to cut it down and cut it. You can't add to it. But you measure yours and see how yours is. Okay, I'm good to left and right, but it looks like the top, I'm going to need to trim just to like a little tiny bit off the top. Kind of tore on the corner there. Alright, and that fits mine perfectly. So we are going to have a flap on this one, as I said just a minute ago. So I have my second chosen design paper, and I want to cut it down to 7.5 by 7. So this one will start 7.5 by 7. Hold on, that looks a little small. Where'd my ruler dude go? That is correct. Alright, so grab your white cardstock, and we want to cut this one 8 by 7.5. I'm the wrong way. Then grab your scoreboard. Let's see. I don't think this is right. I got my measurements. Let's see this way. No? Yes. Okay, just a moment. Okay, let's try that again. Get your white paper. And cut it at 8 by 8.5. Like this should work better. All right. Now we are going to grab, I have Martha Stewart punches, and I'm using this kind of scalloped edge. And we're going to go around 3 sides. So I've got my corner punch. So whichever punch that you have, you use it. So I'm going to go ahead and punch 2 of the sides. Then I'm going to start doing the middle. And I don't do this a lot, so I'm hoping it comes out okay. I have like 4 that does the corner like this, and I very seldom use them. Let's go around this corner. Sorry if I just got my head in your way. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that this actually works. Somehow I got off a little bit there, but let's keep going. One more. All right, so set these aside. And what I want, excuse me, is this to go in the center, and that's why I was having a little bit of trouble. Should have done the white and then the yellow. Alright. get out your scoreboard. And then we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. All right. Now, I do have a white edge. The white is showing here, but I'm a little bit over my punch line, so I'm going to trim mine down probably about 1/8 inch. I tell you what I'm going to do just to make sure. I'm going to put the right side where I want it to be. And then I'm going to make a little mark with my pencil on my left side on my cardstock where I need to cut it. That is better. So you just adjust yours. And you see how this corner piece here goes into that scallop? I'm going to get my curved punch. It's just a corner rounder, and I'm going to round these 2 corners. If you do not have a corner rounder, you can take something and line it up and just trace it and cut it with your scissors, or if you're good enough, just cut it with your scissors by itself. Alright, the next thing we want to do, I still think my bottom is too yeah, somehow I'm hanging over into my punch a little bit too much on the bottom. So I'm going to cut it about 1/16 inch. What is the deal with my cutter today? Oh, I'm sure it's me. There we go. Now grab your ribbon, and we're going to cut off 10 inches. Let's see. Let's put it Alright, I'm going to put this behind it just so you can see. I'm going to measure up 2.5 inches. So I'm measuring from the end of the scallop here up 2.5 inches. And then I'm just going to make a little mark here. corners in so you can see better what I'm doing. Alright, so from the bottom of the scallop, 2.5 inches, and make a mark, and that's where we're going to put our ribbon. So I'm just going to put down some glue. And we're going to put that in place. Alright. Now take your front colored cardstock and go ahead and glue it down. There we are. Let's see. This is the two we had left over from the previous page. So let's grab your white cardstock. Where's my white? We want to cut 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Then grab your purple cardstock, and we want to cut it 4 by 6. I'm going to take my Deco punch, and I'm going to do all 4 corners on both the purple and the white. And glue that down. Okay. Just trying to see if we have enough room to put it sideways. Yeah, let's go ahead and glue this one down. It's not going to be much. You're going to have like 1/4 inch on the left and the right. Just try and center it as much as you can. So center it left to right. Just eyeball it. And I'm about 1 inch from the top of my yellow cardstock down. Let's see, that's not going to work. Ugh. Well, folks, it looks like we're going to have to do up and down. Let's see something. Because I'm trying to figure it out, we need to put a closure. It's going to be too close to that edge. Alright, let me figure this one out. Okay, so since our flap is going behind the paper, it doesn't matter where we cut. So I want to get it, I'm going for, let me I'm going for in the middle, this white photo mat to the end of my yellow cardstock. I'm just eyeballing it, and I want to get into the center of that. There we go. So my white cardstock and my yellow, I'm just going to try and get it in the center of it as much as I possibly can. Trying to think if I want to offset it. And I do, because I want a swing tab down here at the bottom. So let me pan back out. So as far as the top to the bottom, I am about 1/4 of an inch on the bottom here, which that puts me about 1 inch from the top. So I'm going to line that up, just eyeball it, and draw my line. Now we're going to have to press through this, the cardstock, the white, and the ribbons. So when you do your cut, press down rather hard. So press down really hard to get through all of that material. Go over it a couple of times just to be sure. Okay, I have my cut. So I'm going to erase my line. Trim down my tabs. see how it fits. Just go really easy because we are close to that edge. Well, I don't want to go in for some reason. I think I need to make mine a little bit longer. Let's try this again. Alright, I'm going to flip mine over and glue that down. Guess in all actuality I should have done this. We should have done it on just the yellow paper. But once we put our backing, our cardstock on the back of this, it'll strengthen it. Now, for the opposite side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it centered between the yellow cardstock and that white, but I want to move it up further to the top because we're going to put a little swing tab right in here. So I'm about 1/8 of an inch here, and then about 1/8 of an inch here. And I'm going to trace it. Oops, I hit my finger. And then cut that one out. Go ahead, this one, you have your tab on this side, so, or flap. Wow, that is one crooked line I made. I'm going to redo mine. I don't know how I ended up getting so crooked. But before you cut yours, make sure that flap is out of the way. There we are. Alright. So I'm going to move my flap out of the way and go ahead and cut that one. Still looks a little crooked, but I think it's just not all the other paper is lined up. Pressing really hard to get through both pieces of cardstock. Alright. Cut the ends of my tab. Let's see how this guy fits. cut it a little bit more. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that one down. Now let's go ahead and add our flap. Not our flap, I'm sorry. We're going to add our swivel tab. Trying to see. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add my another little butterfly. I'm going to cut my cardstock down one by one. Let's see. And then back it with some purple. And then cut around, leaving about 1/16 of an inch. And we have that. So let me grab my punch. I made him upside down. Well, he'll be... He'll be alright. Whoops. Alright. So I've got it to where each corner will catch each one of the pages. Since otherwise my poor little butterfly would have been upside down. So we're just going to make a hole. Oh, woman. I tell you, the crazier I get to the end of this album, because that is not going to work. I'm going to have to use one of my little plastic ones. Sorry, guys. Ay, ay, ay. Did y'all see what I was looking at while I changed it? Let me show y'all. If you put them here, he's caught on the paper on the top. He's caught on the paper over here. So I covered it up, but I still, no matter where I put him, he don't open. So I'm going to change it to a swing tab, and it'll be able to swing out of the way. So it'll be able to go back like this, and then you can open it and then close it back up. All right. Sorry, little butterfly. So now we need to put our back on here. And I have, what do I want to use? This one, yeah, that one's going to be too. I could do some strips. Or I believe this one we can cut down. Let's do that. So we are going to go 7.5. We go to 7.5 by 7. Yeah, 7.5 by 7. Yours and make sure it fits. Of course, we've got this flap on this end, so I'm not covering that up. It's a little bit too wide. I'm going to cut it down about 1/16 of an inch. And then I'm going to curve these two corners where that corner punch is. And then we're going to glue that down, making sure we get really good around our cuts. But don't go over that score line on this side. I know we got really close to it. There we go. Alright, so take your cardstock that we cut down, the one, it's 9 7/8 by 9 oh, sorry. We cut it different because of the size of our back. So, the one that we're going to put here, we're actually going to have our flap on this side. And I just want to center it top and bottom. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to go ahead and put glue on my tab flap. And I just want it centered in my paper. I'm just going to eyeball it. Does not have to be perfect. And we have that piece. Now we could do our swing tab and open left, right, close it, and then this is going to fold open here. Now grab your ribbon and we're going to cut off another 10 inches. And we're going to glue it down underneath your cardstock as even with this piece as you can. So I'm going to add some glue. Line that up a bit. Wipe off that extra glue that I have. And then these two are going to tie together. Now we can go ahead and put our last page in our album. So put your glue down. Putting quite a bit on the edges. I want to make sure it grabs that fabric well. If your glue, I have this glitter art and it'll stick to the fabric. So depending on what type of glue you have, make sure it's going to stick for the fabric. You may have to use your fabric tack. I'm sure y'all can hear my little chihuahua walking around in the background. I'm going to have to turn this sideways so I can see all my edges real well. You know what? I did the same thing I did on my first one. I should have put this on this side because I cut my paper. It actually fits like this. So even with all this glue on here, I'm going to have to trim mine a little bit. About a 1/16 of an inch. So it'll fit. Okay, let me put some more glue down. I noticed I did this exact same thing on the front cover, inside cover. All right. I'll go ahead and use some clips on mine. I'm not going to leave it on for very long. If you use them, don't leave yours on for longer. They will mess up the padding on the front of your album. And that's my cat. I forgot to close my door, so I'm sorry about all the background noise. I stand up when I'm working on my albums. So I have those little plastic to stand on. Use them like in weight, like a weight room or a workout room. They're little squares and they kind of interlock together. So I stand on those since I stand for so long. And my cats like to come in and sharpen their claws on them. All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do my flowers. My tie's going to be here, so I'm going to run my flowers up in this corner here, and then I will be back to show that to y'all, and we will be finished with this album. Alright, I have my flowers finished. All ran along this corner all the way up to the ribbon there, and I went ahead and added, let's see, sorry guys, okay, go back through on our couple of pockets that we made. I went ahead and added some photo mats, and then I took my little 1-inch square butterfly that I made, and we ended up not using as that swing tab. I put him on here underneath the flower, and then I made a matching one. So there's 2 pocket photo mats for that pocket. And then our other pocket, whoops, I passed it up. Our other pocket was this page with the swing tab, and this whole section came out. I just added 2 photo mats there. I didn't want to bulk it up so this page wouldn't lay down. And then our last one was this page here. This is the only photo mat in this whole album that's not 4x6. This little guy holds a 3x5 picture, and I just have them tucked inside there. So we are completely finished with our beautiful album. Please email me some pictures of what you've created. I would absolutely love to see them. And like I said before, a couple of times probably, my email address is in the PDF. If you have any questions, feel free to just email me and send those pictures. I want to see what you've made. Thanks, Guy. I really appreciate you purchasing this tutorial and taking this little journey with me. Bye-bye.